Hey guys, Matthew Heon here from Heon and Malik Tech Tips, and today we're going to be showcasing you a nice $285 PC build video that can game. So for starters, you want to have a nice static-free workbench. We went with a nice wood workbench. Obviously, you can go with like a static-free wristband or have a static-free mat. Whatever you choose, we just decided to go with the wood. So first off, you want to have a budget, which we got, and once your budget is set, you're going to go to the PC part picker, grab all the parts, make sure that they're compatible together, and then work from there. So if you're unsure about your parts, check out some reviews and some benchmark tests, and yeah, so let's get started with the build. Hey guys, so first we're going to start off with our motherboard, and if you notice anything strange about this, it's kind of because we already pre-installed the CPU and the Thermaltake heatsink. So yeah, obviously the motherboard would not have any of this stuff, and right now we're working with a motherboard Gigabyte 78 LMT US B3 ultra durable, and our CPU is a nice little AMD FX series 4300 3.80 gigahertz. And it's a nice little, personally, like I prefer an i5 or an i7, preferably an i5 because this is a nice gaming computer. But since we're on that $285 budget, we want something nice and cheap that will still game. Alright guys, so right here we have a nice HyperX Fury 4GB DDR3 for our RAM. As you can see, nice cherry red. Usually you want to get like 2 of these or maybe like an 8GB, but you know, with that $285 budget, going with a nice little tiny RAM card. Alright guys, now for our hard drive, we're going with a Western Digital 3.5 inch 1TB HDD. Preferably you want to go with a nice like solid state drive, but this fit our budget and was perfect. So yeah, we're gonna go with that guy. So if you don't know what this crazy thing with all these cables are, it's our power supply, and it's actually a solid gear Neutron 650 watt power supply. And if you get a little intimidated by all these cables, usually you barely use only maybe like 4 or 5 max, depending on what kind of components you have in your computer. But yeah, so this is going to be a lot of cable management, but don't worry, it's nice and simple to plug into the motherboard and the HDD. Alright, so for our keyboard, we decided to go with a nice Logitech G105 from Staples. Pick this up. For our mouse, we went with a nice Logitech G300S. Now, both of these guys have LEDs, so you know they're going to run a whole lot faster than the average keyboard. For our headphones, we went with some nice Skull Candy Heshes. Unfortunately, they don't have LEDs, so not going to run as fast, but they'll still do fine. This was about 40 bucks from Staples, as I said, 30 bucks, and then 30 bucks. Unfortunately, these 3 products are not featured in this build, but so they don't like actually meet the 285, but any mouse, keyboard, or headphones will work. Alright, so our tower went with an Antec Mini Tower ESK 300. Nice small tower, fits our components, and preferably, I like to go with a little bit of a bigger tower, like a normal sized tower, because it makes cable management a bit easier, but this is just going to do fine. Now for our monitor, we just went nothing special, just an Acer from our local PC hardware class that we take, but yeah, it's going to be perfectly fine with what we're doing. Alright, so before we actually begin, I'm just going to gather some of our necessary tools. So we got a nice long screwdriver, short screwdriver, and as you can tell by it, we are professional. And while you're at it, grab some zip ties, for cable management, because you don't want the cables going everywhere. And you can also grab some nice, some wire cutters, some pliers, whatever you really want to use. Hammer if you want, that's not going to really help, but might as well have one. But yeah, so after you grab some tools, let's start by taking off the case. Alright, so we're going to start off with taking off the case panel. And as you can see, we got some 2 screws right here, lefty loosey, and then we're just going to slide the panel right off, so we're just going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so when you're taking off this panel, don't try and tear it off, there's no need for it. You just slide a little bit, and then it just comes off like magic. And inside you're going to see some hardware. You got your iOS shield. That came with the motherboard, we already put it in here. But yeah, so get your cables and everything, and you can start putting everything in. Alright, so first off, we're going to start by putting in our power supply first, and we're going to make sure that we put the fan facing inward, so going this way onto the case, because putting against one of the walls just doesn't make any sense. Alright, so after we put in the power supply, or before the power supply, we're going to put on our iOS shield. This comes with your motherboard, and we're going to put it in before we put in our motherboard, because the way it's set up, it's near impossible to actually put this thing in once the motherboard is already installed. So we're going to go ahead and put that in first. Alright, so as we said, we're starting off with our power supply. Fans facing in, that's all good. We have 4 screw holes to fill, so we're going to start off with that. Now that our power supply is already installed, we are good to start off with the rest of our build. When you're putting in the screws, make sure you don't put in too tight. You don't want to strip any of the connectors, and yeah. So we're going to move on to the iOS shield, which goes right in this area here. Make sure that you are putting it in the correct way. If you don't know how, look at your motherboard, it will show you exactly how, and that way you know which way to put your motherboard in. Just skip to putting it in.
No, I'm just gonna leave it there.
Okay. Now this guy just pops right in with a click. Usually they are kind of a little bit of a pain to put in, but go. Nice. Alright, cool. Alright, so we're going to install our motherboard next, and take note that there are screw spots, and they do mark up over to the motherboard, if we get a shot over here, to these little spots. Now, these are going to be in a little baggie in your, when you open up your case, they're going to be a little baggie with all your other hardware. Just match them up to your motherboard, and then put the screws in accordingly. Make sure that they're all the way in, and yeah, after that, we can go install the motherboard. motherboard, and we're going to start connecting cables. Alright, so when you're installing your cables, pretty much all it is just plugging in the connectors where it looks like it go. Not all the connectors will be used, but yeah, so if you kind of just know what it looks like and then match it up with the slots, you're good to go. So we're just going to start off with the system fan. We're going to snake that through here, make sure it's not touching the fan, and you just plug it in. This is a 3-prong connector, but it also works in the 4-prong that's on the CPU. Alright, so now we're going to put in our HDD drive. It goes in this 3.5-inch slot right here. Just put it on a nice angle, and it should just slide in. That's what she said. Alright, so now we're going to install our power supply to the motherboard. It is the biggest connector that you have connecting to your power supply right here. So it obviously goes right here. So you're just going to match them in, and like we did, we put in our HDD first, because it is a pain in the ass if you put it in the wrong slot, and then you have to try and put this in, you got to take it out. So power supply is in, we're going to move on to our next cable. If you have any trouble with the finding out, if you don't just want to plug in stuff randomly, everything on the motherboard is labeled. You just gotta look for it. Finally, we are going to install our HDD LED, our power, our reset switch, and our power LED positive and negatives. Cable right there. If you don't know how to put it in, make sure you consult the manual. That'll show you a detailed representation of how you're going to plug those spots in. Now we're going to get prepped and get cable management done, which is going to be a pain in the ass, but you gotta do it.
Silly Matt Heon, he forgot to put the damn RAM in. Now, you know, the HyperX Fury is just sitting out there. He's gonna put it in now. Matt Heon, I think you fucked up, man.
Alright, so as you can see, there's like a little tiny slot right here. Make sure that matches up with your RAM slots, and first, right here, they kind of like click open, so we want to open them up on both sides. Then plug it in. Make sure that you're putting it in the correct slot, because sometimes you might be going on an angle. And once you're done, pop it in on each corner. And boom, we have a computer. After we finish putting everything in, cable management, zip ties, all that great stuff, just gotta put the case back together, put it already on, and screw it in. And there you have it. Our $285 computer is complete. Now, we will show you that it does work. We're gonna hook up power to it. We're gonna go on 9-night, install some stuff, so we'll be right back to show you that actually works. The moment of truth. And it works!
The notorious Matt Heon, known for his ability to make a perfect computer. And now it's working.
And we already pre-installed Windows 8.1, of course. And yeah, so if you want to learn how to put a BIOS on a USB, watch one of our videos on that, and we'll definitely show you how to do that.
Hey guys, what's up? Got a Shear here, and as you can see here, me and Matt Heon built the dopest PC ever. Only take us like 25 minutes, but you know, I'm not trying to brag here. Anyways, this PC that you all are building, I personally made it on PC Part Picker for my project last year. Cheapest, budget-friendly gaming PC, and I won it last year, so you guys have a big challenge ahead of you. We have the best PC. And by the way, check this Warthog out. This was built by Matt Heon, the one and only. His artistic skills are fucking amazing. All made out of Legos. And look, he even has the foot pedals to go along with it. Matt Heon is a genius, and I'm not gonna lie, we both are prodigies. What can I say? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this build video, and please comment, rate, subscribe, and check you guys out later.